Yo, so today I'm going to be breaking down this like synthy and kind of aggressive hyperpop melody. I guess it's called like a rage hyperpop melody. I don't even know. So before we start, by no means am I any good at these kind of melodies, but I think I figured some killer tips out, and the melody that I made is pretty decent, so I figured I'd break it down. Alright, so to start off, we have the synth sound, and it is a simple synth chord V2 from Serum. And the thing that I've kind of noticed about these kind of melodies is it's basically just a plug melody with more aggressive sounds. Like you want to use like ninth chords and stuff like that, but just like change the voicing around so it's a little more interesting. So here I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is a seventh chord, flipped the third up, and then this is a seventh chord without the third flipped up. This is a seventh chord like crazy, or maybe it's a ninth, I don't remember, but they're all like very stacked chords. And I also think it's very important to leave these breaks because like these synth sounds are really heavy, and if you leave those breaks, it's like a little bit of like fresh air, and you can like, and then I just have these little two transition notes at the end, and then at the end of the second half I did this roll, which becomes a lot cooler later on. So here's this pattern. So as you can hear, really simple melody, but it gets the job done. Feels very full. And I'm going to change the note colors to red. Oh, that looks so spooky. All right, and then after that, I grabbed this lead from Serum, and it's actually a chord. It's the Fago chord from the Wanderer Serum bank. Highly recommend it. Very cool bank. But I actually turned on mono and legato, and then turned this up to 27, so it glides in between notes, and I thought that was pretty cool. And this top line is very inspired from Mr. Rage, but here it is. Nice simple top line, gets the job done. I feel like the aim for these kind of melodies is like make your melody simple, but like make the spacing and like the chords good. Next sound I actually made myself, so I'm gonna break that down too. But it's this lead, and you can see I copied that fast roll from the synth. So with this sound, it's this waveform, I think it's called. But you just go here, go into analog, click right there. I'm pretty sure it's stock with Serum. And then I turn the unison up to 8, and then mono legato on, and then this knob again up to like 29. Then I went into FX, added hyper, flanger, and delay. And I don't really know how to like specifically manipulate things yet. I'm still kind of working on that. But I just kind of adjusted it till it sounded good to me. And another cool trick, if you listen to like other people's rage melodies or like Playboi Carti, Ken Carson type melodies, you know that like one low lead that plays on like the first note and then does like a quick slide. Well, this is basically that same thing. So you'd use this same waveform, but you'd leave the unison at 1, do mono legato the same, and then you wouldn't put any effects, and you just leave some distortion on it. So here's what this pattern sounds like. So it's really cool, and these fast rolls come in right as the chord breaks, and like has that little breathing space, so it really fills that in, and it has like a cool sound with the flanger and everything. And then these bottom notes just kind of emphasize the start of each chord and then add a little rhythm here. Next is a sound from Flex, and it's the Thin Pluck Saw. And I turned the reverb off on it because I just didn't really like it. But then I selected those notes, right clicked, and altered the velocities to sweep down. And I just thought this was like a nice little counter melody to add. So here is this pattern. Oh, and by the way, I'm in C major. And then finally, the last sound I added was a bass from Serum. It's the blade type bass from that Money XO bank that I really quite enjoy. And I just have it copying the bass notes, obviously. So this is what this sounds like. Really simple, follows the bass notes. So now we're going to get into the mixing. I really did not do anything special. So on the synth chord, I cut the lows, dipped out of the highs, and boosted the low mids because I knew I wanted leads up here, so I did need to get rid of just a slight bit of that. And then chorus on the default preset, and then an imager boosted like halfway up. Next on the lead, just kind of isolated it in the high mids to like highs. Then on the lead that I made myself, I just cut the lows because I already pretty much added all the effects in Serum. Did nothing on the saw pluck, and then on the bass, and then used Fruity Fast Distort just on the default preset, and then I turned it down about 3/4 of the way. So that's pretty much it for the mixing. Very simple. But then I laid it out, and I have a lot of variation because it is such a simple repetitive melody. So this would be like the intro to the beat. So I just have the chords playing normal, the lead comes in, that lead comes in, and the pluck is playing the whole time. And then this gross beat is actually a really kind of cool thing I did. So I put that on the master, of course, so it affects everything. But it's the 1-beat gate like I like to use for like before the drum drops. But then I added this basic 8 pattern, and it reverses it on that last chop. So when it reverses, then it goes into the completely reversed melody, which is pretty much just the chords and the lead that I made. And then this lead comes like in and out in that kind of pattern. But then I just chopped it wherever the chord changed and reversed it. Also, I kind of messed up here because there was like a dead space here because I don't even know why. But I filled it in by just having that saw roll play again. And then I also found this asteroids perk that sounds like this. And I just pitched it up an octave. So that kind of fills in that little bit of dead space. And I have that kind of come in every time there's like a major like change in the melody. Just because it is like so drastic to go from like a fully reversed melody to like choppy chords. Then I went and I laid out these chords, which is the same chords as the other one. But I just went here, clicked make unique, and then I went Control A, Alt U, did the chopper on that time preset, and then just cut out every other one. But then I pretty much just have this lead come back in as kind of a transition to get it into the more synth heavy and like constant noise portion of the melody. And then it loops back around to that like basic, the first chords, and then the lead, and then my lead comes in at the end. So it loops really nicely because that lead comes back into this lead. Then I laid out the stems, of course, and then rendered it out. And I ended up pitching it down 100 cents. So it ended up being in B major. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty much it for the video. No, I'm not the best at these type of melodies, but hopefully you learned something from this. This will come out on Wednesday, so on Friday there should either be like an energetic from scratch or a like 10-minute timed one again, because I thought that was pretty fun, because I do want to do something from scratch because these last 2 videos have been breakdowns. But yeah, pretty much it. I'll play the final loop right now.